Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Today, I will take you guys through these charts and my viewpoints about them. Now, we have a XRP chart, BTC chart, altcoin market cap, then the comparison between XRP and BTC, which will give us some kind of, thoughts about the expected time frame, price fluctuations, and further details which we'll actually discuss and analyze, then take us forward into further conclusions. Say we'll actually reach an area where we can understand what will be happening with XRP. Now, yes, I know this looks like a lot of charts, and I'm not sure how many of you guys will watch this video till end, but I assure you with whole heart that your time spent here will provide you enough value in return. Now, anyway, without any delay, jumping directly into the charts. This is the first one chart which we'll actually look at, and that's XRP chart. This is a 60 minutes chart for XRP, and it's showing you, as we discussed previously, we discussed about this head and shoulder pattern and the potential target around 0.2, 0.19. But yes, most of the time the target is not achieved completely. We are kind of reach around 70 to 75%. So even if that's calculated, you can expect somewhere around 0.2, but we are currently near the support line around 0.22. So if you guys are expecting much in short term, you should actually consider that this target is still in place. In yesterday's video, we actually discussed about these, and in past 3 videos we were actually targeting about XRP and the price fluctuation, how you can actually manage your portfolio if you are doing this in short term. Now this is the next one. That's XRP in a 12-hour chart, and you can actually, when you actually look at this, what you can understand is we are actually following a path in which it was, you can see previous touches here that creates a valid resistance support area in which we are currently resting here. Now the question is, will we get a bounce from here? Because it's not only this particular trend line resistance support area now acting as a support, but also this one. So as we discussed previously in yesterday's video, we have a broadening wedge here, which is a reversal pattern from this bearish trend. And if that is to play out, then this will validate with a bounce here. So that is the reason why I told you still the target for that head and shoulder is not achieved yet, but I don't think we'll go till there, because these support levels with this trend line supports look like a really strong support, because it may move, yes, it may move, but even if it wicks down, I think we may go up. Now, when zooming in, you can actually understand that as of now, we are actually moving really towards that support. Now, what we have to check is whether it will wick here, or we will consolidate and test this one here. So that is a question which we will have to answer. Now, if we step back and zoom out, now we talked about the bearish scenario, right? If we actually look at the bullish sentiment here, we have to also keep this in mind that, you know, a head and shoulder pattern is coming up. Now, yes, this is not confirmed yet, and I'm just assuming that the probability is high that we are gonna have something like this, because it's not only a head and shoulder pattern which is looking like this, because if you actually look at it, yes, we have valid touches which makes it like curved bottoms here, 1, 2, and 3, which actually clearly make that there. Now, if we combine that with the RSI, we can actually see that we do have something similar in the RSI as well. So you know, if you guys know, that's okay. Otherwise, this is maybe new to you. If you are new to this market, then do understand that RSI actually shows you something before it kind of happens, and most of the time we call that a divergence, right? As you can see here, the price was pumping high and we were making lows, right? So that actually pointed you that a divergence is happening in the market, and that too in a 12-hour chart, not in a 1 hour or 4 hour, and we eventually went back down. Now in this one, you can actually see that here we bottomed, and then here we got a divergence. So similarly, the price started moving up for a short time. Yes, we were not able to manage through this resistance line, but again we came back down. But for that, we actually had a divergence again here, indicating that the price may be moving down. So if you actually assume that in a long view, you can actually understand that it's also showing you a head and shoulder pattern. So if that plays out, that's going to be really cool for all of holders, or It's not about like you're holding 2 years, 3 years, because one of my viewers were asking, are you actually willing to hold till 5 years, 10 years? I told I'm even ready to hold for next 20 years. Look, this is the generational wealth transfer which is coming up. Say I have a boy who's just 3 months old, and till the time he is able to understand and take the opportunity, this will be like a missed opportunity. But I don't want that to happen. So if I can position myself well for him for next 20 years, that's gonna be cool. So that's completely my perspective. I don't know what you guys think about that. You can actually let me know what you guys think about it. Say for next 5 years or 10 years, or you are just looking for next 3 years, 1 year. It's completely up to you. Now this is another perspective. Say we are not considering the head and shoulders here. Okay, we are not looking at a shoulder here. Say in that aspect, you can still have a rounded bottom, which is a powerful bearish reversal pattern. Say we were in a bearish, now yeah, I meant bullish reversal pattern, because we were in a bearish trend and you are getting this rounded bottom, which is kind of, this is scientifically explained like sellers are slowly losing to the buyers to push the price down and down, and slowly the price is kind of making a new highs. Say in terms of higher high, you can actually get 1, 2, 3. What else you need? You get higher lows, 1, 2, 3. It's still a higher low. Yes, I confirmed. Like it's not yet bounced. Still, I believe that it may bounce considering all the support level, which lays back to 1 year to 1.5 years. So if you actually look at that, if we get a bounce here, considering the previous chart we discussed about those trend line supports, then that again makes a higher low, validating this parabolic movement upside. Why I say parabolic movement, you will actually understand why I completely state this is going to be a parabolic move upside, because if you actually point this side, you can understand how we are going to move. It won't be like this. Instead, it will be parabolic. Now, the reason for that is if you actually compare it with a BTC, you can actually understand. Now, yes, by the end, I'll actually show you the altcoin market cap and BTC. Stay with me, focus on this one, and we'll jump into that without any delay. Now, this is a long-term view. Say in this one, you can actually see that if you are assuming that these were the previous resistance as shown here, and then it turned as a support, then again it should act as a support here. If you are considering a long-term slow upside potential here, then yes, you should have that. Now yes, you can also draw the same like this, connecting these resistance and these supports, and at that point we are below that support, and we already retested that and we are moving to the downside. That's kind of a bearish scenario there, but still we have to again validate that considering what is going to happen. Say you are going to consider this in a mirror pattern. Say this half is going to repeat here, assuming that this is going to be a rounded bottom going to the upside. So if you take this percentage and number of days here and plot it here in this side, you get something like this. Now yes, I didn't have the proper tools to mirror the same bar here. I tried to put this here, but I couldn't. If you guys know anything or any tool about that, do let me know. I'll try to plot that, because upcoming videos we'll actually be doing comparing the next XRP Ether, XRP LTC and others. But yeah, anyway, today we have the discussion about XRP BTC. Now yes, when we look at this, we can actually understand if this is happening here, still we can actually look at the previous high or a new high, considering that the liquidity is increased. I understand the total number of XRP circulating is increased, but at the same time the volume compared to the previous highs, we are really high in a daily chart if you actually look at that. Now yes, this is another perspective in which, as we discussed previously in one of our video which was named "Is it the other way around?" we discussed a lot of time series data for XRP, and we actually reached somewhere around here, say September of 2020. We were actually looking at September of 2020 to start a bull run. But yes, there was one indicator which was showing us by the end of March, say this March 2020 March, but other indicators were pointing more towards August, September and October. But yes, we had one indicator which was pointing way back. Now yes, if you guys want to know about that detail, you can go to that video. Now this will be linked up here. Now if we actually look at this and consider that this time frame is this one, and then just think about this particular uptrend and place it from here to here, you get something like this, which is 322 days. Now why I'm looking at that? Because I actually checked about other time series data about XRP, its price fluctuations, and those guys watched that video already understood. Now this is coin total market cap of all coins, and in this you can actually see that we are still in a bearish still in a bullish pattern. We just, you faked out here, but we managed to break above, which is kind of a bullish sign, and we are coming back to retest these levels. As we talked in our previous video, we are still at these levels unless we get a bounce here. We still have to be cautious. We have to check whether is this coming back into this particular trend area where we turn bearish. So we have to keep that in mind. Now this is altcoin market cap in 4 hour, and we can see that the current support level is actually holding. Whenever this is holding here near to that of the support line, you can see that the RSI is at the overbought area and it's kind of bouncing. So we have something similar here too. If that's to happen, then it may consolidate a bit like this and then move to the upside, but we do have a chance that it may come back down below the trend line. So in that aspect, you should be considering what is happening. Now yes, this is BTC and XRP. Now in this one, this is previous, right? This is really old. We are looking at a case which happened during 2016. So if you actually look at that, what you can understand is the pattern here emerging for BTC is still valid, because you can actually, if you actually really focus on this, you can actually see that we made a pattern like this, which we have right now in BTC. If you look at BTC on a long-term chart, you can understand that we still have that chart valid. Now yes, before jumping into these details and how we got this, we have to first understand how this is or where this is. Look at that. When BTC was pumped first time, XRP was still coming to the downside, and then when it moved up, yeah, it went up. So the first time it didn't actually move with it, whereas the second and third time it did. But what you have to understand is it didn't actually make a new high there when BTC was making new highs. Comparing this cycle, say it came down, it bottomed here. Now what is interesting to look at it is when BTC bottomed, XRP was at the top one. Now that top is not that similar to that what you're thinking, but it's something like this. See this pattern here where BTC got a bounce, XRP got it afterwards here. So we were kind of delayed there in with respect to the time. And then we got something similar here. It's not that different. Time was kind of catching up with that of BTC. Now you actually had a head and shoulder pattern, pennant here for BTC, which we currently have here. Yes, that's on a bigger scale, a gigantic scale. So if I'm ensuring this and this run up high, then yes, I also believe that BTC is gonna go much higher from this particular point. Say we ran above here to here around 30-40x. From the bottom it was kind of 86x the capital. So even if you consider 10, that is gonna be a huge market for BTC, right? Now back in the comparison, what you can see here is a pattern in which we were actually dealing slowly. At the same time, you had a similar pattern for BTC, but it actually broke above this pennant here. It was making higher highs for the year and that cycle. You can see a new high here, another one, and then it was retesting the previous high and it broke above. So until that time frame, that's 311 days, XRP was going to the downside. It didn't even show something positive compared to the previous highs here. And when BTC just broke above the all-time highs, then was the time the altcoins, or precisely XRP, started bouncing up. Now yes, we were delayed. What you have to keep in mind is that we were 311 days delayed, right? But if you actually look at the top of the market, you can actually understand that we almost catched up, right? If you see, this is the top of BTC. We were just there in 1 week. So even though we were kind of 1 year lagging behind that of BTC, by the end of that cycle, when BTC reached the top, within 1 week we also reached that area. If you look at this particular area here, you can get that here. If you look at this consolidated capitulation and then the move high, you can actually get the same here. And if you actually measure this time frame, that's 364 compared to the 311 days delay here, we got something like say 364 days in this area. Now if you put that into perspective and look at what's gonna come ahead, then that's gonna be at least 350% similar to that of BTC. Now yes, if BTC took say 6 months, we are gonna do that in 4 months, that's for sure, because this is XRP what we are talking about, because whenever it pumps crazy. If you guys recognize value from this video, please do like, subscribe and press the bell notification icon.